Welcome everyone to more open source Sunday work here, dedication and what would I say? I need to rewatch my video, dedication and attention to detail. Here live on this channel, NoTech, new major contributor to our Linux distribution here, T2, supporting all these architectures that most Linux distribution won't, and brought to my attention something I didn't even think about, also not that. And that is hide Linux processes from other users and PS basic, and with that also PS commands. I mean, this headline is a bit from other users and PS commands, like from other users PS commands. I guess it's not really exclusive, but anyway, I didn't even think about this, but that is like, why is that not the default? So basically on a multi-user system, most like you and me and stuff, except in a company, usually you don't run multi-user systems, where like time sharing of logging in and except in a data center. But even then, the irony with all this multi-user stuff, I mean, it's mostly used for daemons, right? For server processes, Samba, your mail server, SMTP and Apache and stuff. So anyway, actually this is quite some, I mean, it is security by obscurity, but it's on the other hand so obvious, like, why is it not long the default, and why? I mean, I read a lot. I've, like you see this here live on this channel for 20 years. I know way too many details than I ever wanted to know on Linux, GNU Linux and not GNU Linux systems. But even I didn't came across this. Is basically implemented in the Linux kernel since 3.2, actually, to be fair, not that long ago. And this is basically in the Linux kernel, like when a user process, like your Joe user, your average John Doe user, is simply because this proc is virtual, right? So if, probably should make more programming 101, but this proc stuff is of course on the fly generated. So of course the Linux kernel could generate other content for each user, and so basically as this hide PID stuff is implementing, if you mount this with this mount option like hide PID, then other users' sensitive command line, for example, command line could be either like file names or worst case passwords, of course sophisticated stuff. It usually doesn't pass, like GNU PG doesn't pass passwords and stuff on command line, except maybe you run curl stuff, but yeah, running highly secure FTP password curl stuff. But anyway, in general, I would actually say why not, right? So I think similar to one user a year ago, I think DeGraver pointed out, why don't you mount temp no exec by default, which we promptly did, of malware downloading something to temp and trying to execute it. Of course, not top notch, like it's not your only line of defense, but everything adds up, right? Like, why not? If it's although the irony is this /temp no exec caused regressions. Ironically, I think most stuff usually builds. I mean, it's very rarely that I think that maybe one or two, like not many build errors due to that. But ironically, my own test suite of exact image and our products, actually in our test suite, like for our products, we generated some files to run, like test runs in /temp for like from the environment and arguments and so on, and because we generated that from other wildcard patterns of this tool and the data file. And yeah, so ironically, the biggest regression was our own test suite. So yeah, 1 year ago, live on a security news shout out, like, yeah, why not temp no exec? It's like, yeah, live on this channel, causing major regression. Anyway, so I think I will run this. So we could test this. If we PSA, so right now you see everything. I mean, it's mostly kernel tags. This is also a little bit hilarious, right? So many kernel threads also, single, it's like, yeah, it's a bit funny. How many are this even? I mean, it's this epic thread ripping horizon, right? So it's like, yeah, 375 mostly. So let's see if we mount proc remount with height PID equals 2 maybe. Also height with E. Okay, that was a little better. And I would actually say so. Okay, this is exactly as we expected. I mean, this is, I would even argue, I mean, I didn't even try this before because recurring subscribers already know we do everything live, right? Why waste our time pre-testing anything, but why not discover it together? I would even say a normal user, I mean, this is even more readable, right? So if you have like sleep, what if sleep 6, yeah, so this works as expected, and it's even cleaner, right? Because why would a normal user see all the freaking kernel threads? And I mean, not that the kernel threads are the most important, but it's also annoying, right? If you like you have left even a dozen things running and you get 370 or so, plus minus maybe 350 kernel threads, like, yeah, YOLO, whatever. You even need to grab, or maybe there are command line switches. Anyway, so of course this doesn't, kernel threads is only one thing. More of a thing is actually other users' processes. And again, who is running multi-user stuff nowadays, like for real time sharing, logging in and this stuff. So this would be mostly, I mean, very few people will see this, except everyone at home. So at home, you would, as your own user, only see your own processes. And if you wanted to see all your kernel threads or other root server stuff, then you would need to sudo su and whatnot. Leave in the comments below what you think. I mean, I find this, yeah, this is a little bit, as I said, it's even improving usability, but of course, otherwise, I'm of course totally aware that security through obscurity, reliance on security engineering designed to implement secrecy is the main. So of course, provided security to a system component. Security experts have rejected the view as far back as 1851, when locksmith Alfred Charles Hobbs demonstrated to the public state-of-the-art lock could be picked in response to concerns that exposing security flaws in the design of locks could make them more vulnerable to criminals. He said, rogues are very keen in their profession and know already much more than we could teach them. And this also, on some Linux plumbers websites, they praised the hiding demask. And I tried this. I would argue this demask, sure, there are some serial numbers, but yeah, I totally hated this, right? Sure, you can always su and sudo and stuff, but for me, on my personal service, and I mean, it's not like you can modify something. I mean, you gain some serial numbers, maybe some memory, although memory maps are usually these days __ PTR value for the same security by obscurity reasons. But except it's uploaded demask hidden to normal users by default. I totally hated that. I tried this like a week or months with int2. I reverted that. That was too annoying. But I would say that this is actually improving usability. But leave in the comments below as usual. I'm really looking, as with the polls here on our YouTube channel, always interested to check my own state of the bubble here with whatever, like to update my worldview and alignment with security sensitive and other usability issues, validating that and stuff with your feedback. So we basically probably have two places to patch that if we wanted to patch that. One thing, it's actually, I mean, that one thing is not even the most important, because we probably have here like etc fstab and no exec. I mean, basically we could see what we touched last for svn, probably svn log. That's, oh wait, mounting. So that basically we could you reuse the knowledge of that, which of this revision, what we changed here. And welcome everyone. Turned in this here. Oh, you didn't paste this because. And yeah, these are the two files that I expected to change. Which is one is mostly a documentation thing, and the other is a real thing. So div stat, and so the file that I just opened, that is also div stat shorten the first path component. The first two path components. I hate this automated shorting stuff, but anyway. So the first is this one. This is more like documenting style, and I think I probably rewrite this a little bit soon because the only constant is change, and even our own stuff we can clean up to avoid this defining this twice, because we have here proc, so that would be was it height PID equals 2 and no SUID, no def, no exec, height PID 2, and the other is the div start, the other is the stone module. Stone mod setup. Oops, best with, yeah, maybe I shouldn't use decade-old Apple keyboards. Proc. And this is what I mean with having this defined twice. I think it would be much better, so this code shouldn't redefine this. This is somehow over-defined. I would actually, you know what, let's make a to-do, otherwise I forget this. So this is basically improve stone mod setup to reuse fstep by just that. So basically not, oops, not hard coding that, but reusing on the fly what was installed. So that would be no height PID equals 2. Let's svndi grab. Okay, this is what? Ah, yeah. So proc height PID. Height PD2, I think this was mount, remount height PID, theoretically we should copy and paste that, but I don't see a typo. Where's my mouse cursor? Hello mouse cursor. So yeah, the only question, I don't expect there to be any regression. Speaking of regression, we certainly want to also test rebuild more, clean up, build like Spark or something. Oops, so clean up, build, not clean up, clean up. Oops, oh. It's not my Sunday, this Sunday. We've cleaned up Spark, and then of course we should test build Spark, because why not? I totally don't expect there any build regression, because all the build stuff runs as root anyway, so there shouldn't be anything. And yeah, leave in the comments below. I think I try this. I mean, we can reverse this any time, but I would say from my minimal, how long do we live stream? Minimal 15-minute testing and brainstorming here with you live on this channel, I would say this is an improvement. Actually, I would call this more of a usability improvement and security a little bit. But anyway, improved or hardened. Actually, we could call this hardened, because by not hardened default proc to be mounted with Right, PID equals 2. Yeah, leave in the comments below what you think. I think so far I like what I've seen. The builds, of course, could uncover new regressions. glibc, you never know. We could also, what else? All right. It's basically it for this video. We probably end it here to keep it like shorted by topic and make it more efficient for people to watch. As usual, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something and enjoy our building our Linux distribution here live on this channel. Don't forget to share and subscribe. And I hope to see you soon for even more fun hardening and stuff to come.